Hi, thanks for joining us again. So on the last episode, we talked about land prep, site prep, kind of what it takes to get some bare land ready to build on. If you haven't seen that one, jump back. I'll put the link in the description. This episode, we're going to be talking about excavation, so actually getting the project started. So the project we're going to go look at today is a little farther ahead. That's why I chose it to do the excavation and landscape kind of portion of the cost breakdown. And that one, the house is framed on there, but we're going to look at hooking up utilities, what it costs to dig that out with a crawl space. What's the cost we're looking at for excavation? First, it's going to be obviously digging your hole for your foundation. After the foundation's poured, you're going to have backfill. You're going to have some import. Usually we like to see, here we have a lot of sandy loam, so we like to see some 3/4 road base put down before the footer. And also inside, if you're doing slab on grade, you want a little bit of road base buffer there between your native material and your concrete. So we do about 4 inches of 3/4. After that, things you got to think about is actually connecting the utilities. So we do our own utility connections, so that's sewer, water. We'll trench and do conduit for electrical, but the electrician has to actually put the wire in. And gas is usually done by our local gas provider here. Well, we're up the shop loading up for today, and it's just a beautiful mid-August day here, 32 degrees, a little bit of snow on the ground, and just beautiful for all your Californians coming up here. Just, you know, enjoy the weather. Amazing. Just kidding, it's December. It's a joke. We love Californians, they're amazing. Hi, my name is Bill. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm an owner here at Carlson and Co, and we basically build homes, we excavate, we do property development. We can even help you with your real estate. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment. Be happy to help you. All right, so we're downtown on a project that is a great example of excavation costs. Not a huge house, nice flat lot. We actually did the demo here, which I'll show you now, a little bit of cleanup. The excavation of this house, we dug it down full crawl space because this whole lot was topsoil. And right now we're working on getting the sewer around the corner to go to an ADU, hooking up water and sewer for the house in the front, and trenching for our local utility to come out and do electrical. Pretty flat lot, standard downtown size. Easy access. We had to end up pulling some stumps. This one was pretty basic, just a full dig. We removed like 1.5 to 2 foot of topsoil, which changed the build actually from slab on grade to a crawl space. We did some numbers, crunched some numbers, and realized it'd be cheaper than hauling in a bunch of material to do the slab on grade, to just change the plans to do a crawl space for the home. This guy, we actually used a brand new ST31, which we're working on a review for, that we did the excavation portion and kind of moved some materials with. So after excavation's done, there's backfill to be done. And then we come through and we attach water to a city meter here. We actually install the meters as well, looking out for these just solo fiber optic cables. And then we've ran the sewer from the house into the main, getting ready to head around the corner to the ADU. This is our connection, brass to brass, totally got rid of all the galvanized, into 1-inch poly into the house. Everything is pressurized. We're doing air tests because the plumbing's done inside, so we're air tested all the way through the house, and we're doing air here for the water, which will go through conduit through this hole into the crawl space. So the stage of this project that we're in right now, we've already done the house demo, we've done the excavation for the foundation, we've done most of the backfill, we're getting the utilities tied into the house right now. Going forward from this stage, we basically have called in the inspection for our sewer and water. Once that's signed off, we can finish the conduit, which they'll come out and inspect for the electrical. and then we can backfill that whole side. Backfill will be complete, and then we can start working on grading to get the driveway and the backyard to where the client wants it. All right, we're dropping by one last project before we head back to the shop. But this is a great example. This is another lot. We're gonna put a house on it, and this one has just a bunch of topsoil as well, about 1.5 feet. So we're doing our 2 feet down. This one is actually getting a garage and pickleball court on the first level. So we are gonna have to bring in some fill, some gravel, GSP maybe, to get it filled back in and ready for flat work after the foundation's in. This job's just waiting for trucking, as long as the weather holds out. You guys want a review on the ET145 whacker? We'd be more than happy to do that. We also have a EZ36, and again we tested that ST31. We're gonna be testing out some more equipment. We don't have a skid steer anymore. We had an ST35, ended up selling that, and that's kind of why we were looking at the ST31. But we do feel like we're gonna go in another direction, so stay tuned for more information on why we didn't pick the ST31 to replace our ST35. All right, we are back at the shop to talk about the numbers on this one. First of all, excavation, digging for the foundation. You're gonna be $4,900 on a house like that. That's gonna be basically all 3 sites we've looked at. If you haven't seen the previous video on the cost to develop land, look at that one. I'll be basically going back and forth between that one and the 2 that we looked at in this video. Gravel and compaction. Gravel and compaction we do on basically every job we do for foundations, because in Idaho, we have a lot of sandy loam, which is just kind of sand and mud, and we also have a lot of rocks. And when you dig out big rocks, it doesn't leave a nice compacted virgin soil. So we like to bring in gravel every time and just compact it. We charge just $600. It's a load of gravel. Bring our compactor out and just nail it while we're doing the excavation. But $4,900 would cover the excavation for all 3 of those. On the house itself, they're all very similar in size. The big cost is going to be hauling. That's kind of surprise cost. Didn't know you had 2 feet of topsoil. The one that we looked at, the main one, the client actually ended up just piling it up in the backyard, so no need to haul off there. Backfill and import, we usually just charge $1,000 to $1,500 depending on if we need to bring in material. On this one, since we pile it up, we don't. It's $1,000. Mobilization on this job, when we originally went there for the house demo, was $1,000. That's for our big machine in and out. All the little machines, if we're working in town like that one, we usually don't charge for. Utilities on that one, we hooked up the water. It was a short distance between the meter and the house, so we were looking at $1,000 on that. The sewer was also a short distance from the house, but then we ran from there with a Y around the house to tie into the ADU. That's a future ADU. So that's $2,000 on the sewer. Power, we're just going to charge $500. There's a little bit of hand labor that we're going to have to do, and a little bit of material for the 2-inch conduit for the electrical, but other than that, the trench is already dug with the sewer. Final grade. So that's going to be final grade on driveway. If you're going to put concrete in, if you're going to put asphalt, they will grade it one more time after us, but we're going to bring in road base, get a final grade on that. On this specific house, there's a driveway that goes down the right side of the house, and then it also requires a sidewalk across the entire front of the house, so we'll be digging that out as well with a nice approach down to the street, and that is going to be $2,100. Gas, our utility company likes to just do it themselves, so we never really bid gas unless they need help digging. In this case, they do not. Any extras? The house, if you guys were wondering, the house that was there before was actually a little bit bigger footprint than that one. It was an old house, had kind of like a slab on grade with a little bit of crawl space. That one we charged $13,000. If you guys are interested in seeing a video on the cost breakdown to demo a property, be happy to do that. Just leave it in the comments. And then other than that, they had trees that were taken down. We removed the stumps. Ended up being $3,500. It was a bunch of big trees, and we had to get some dumpsters from Site Solutions to haul those out of there for us. The total price on this one, where we have the house being built, is $12,000 for the excavation portion. That's going to give you a digged out area for your foundation. It's going to give you your utilities hooked up. It's going to get your backfill and your final grade. And because we went over the cost on the first video of the first site that had all the development done for it, I would actually say that that one's going to be really close to about $12,000 too for the excavation portion. On the third site that we looked at with the topsoil that we're taking out right now, that one will be a little bit more expensive because we do not have anywhere to stockpile that topsoil, and he will not need it at the end of the project. So there will be some hauling out, and we're also doing a slab on grade pickleball court. We're going to need to import some fill material, some GSP, some gravel, some good stuff to hold up that flat work. Now, if you're able to save your topsoil like this customer was, it'll go a long way, because another thing we're going to talk about in this video is landscaping. Most people like to think the excavator does it, but really we're just rough to final grade on concrete work, and then kind of a rough, nice looking dirt yard. But past that, you're going to want to get a landscaper involved. You're going to be looking at sod for grass. You're going to be looking at irrigation systems, maybe bringing in some more dirt, hardscapes, rock, you name it. I would budget anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 on landscaping. If you haven't watched the first video and you're interested in the land development portion of the project, I'll put the link in the description for the first video. Go check that out. The next video is going to be on cost for actually building the house. So that'll be leaving off from digging the foundation, and now we're going to actually put the foundation in and build the house. Stay tuned.